Hey guys, so I'm going to be out for the next week, and I wanted to let y'all know that Mr. D, my sub, is capable of teaching chemistry. He taught chemistry for years next door to me. I've had a recent death in my family. My father passed away, so I'm flying up to New Jersey for his to make arrangements and things like that. So I'm going to be gone all next week. So I'm doing some video lessons for all of you face-to-face and digital kids on electron configurations. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Your first thing that you'll do is color the table. Now I realize that it's not going to make any sense to you when you first color this table because you're not going to know what everything means yet. But I'm going to go through the process with you, and as I go through the process, I'm going to teach you the little tidbits and aspects of why we're coloring the table and how it's going to be beneficial for you. Um, this is probably the most important thing that you'll want to do because this will help you through the whole chapter. You do get to use this table on the test, and without it, it's going to be quite difficult to do electron configurations in the beginning. So it's imperative that you have this table, you color it, you fill it out, and get all the information on it. Those of you that are my digital kids, you may have to print this one out. So I linked it to you in the slideshow. So if you can at all print it out, it will be so much easier for you if you can print that out. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to minimize my screen. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. And let me move this up here. Okay, so as you can see right now, you're looking at a blank periodic table, and you'll notice that it's a little bit different. What I've done is I've kind of whited out this part right here and the lanthanides right here. There's a reason for why I'm doing that. When you do electron configurations, it's important that you follow the order of the atomic number. So if you look here at 56, it goes all the way to 71. And there's a reason for that because 57 through 70 is at the bottom. Same thing for the last row. You have 88 and then you have 89 through 102. It's important that you follow that order of atomic number when doing electron configurations, okay? Now, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we are going to be setting up our table in 4 sections. So you're going to have 4 orbitals that the electrons can exist in, and you're going to have 4 sections on the periodic table. So the first section I'm going to highlight in pink, and it doesn't matter, you can use crowns to do this. I'm just going to highlight. A lot of people like to just color, and that's what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to shade in because it's helpful if you shade in. Now my highlighter here that I chose is not the best one, but it'll do, okay? Now the other thing I'm going to do here, okay, is I'm going to make another spot next to hydrogen, and I'm going to draw in helium. And there's a reason why I'm going to draw in helium here, okay? Helium actually, for electron configurations, acts like, and I'm going to color it over here just in case so we don't get confused, acts like it should be in that sublevel when we are doing electron configurations. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and at the top of the column, I'm going to go ahead and put an S here, okay? Big, just I'm going to put the letter, a capital S right there, okay? Now I'm going to grab another one of my highlighters, and I am going to highlight this next box right here, okay, all the way down, and make a square with this box. Like I said, you can leave it highlighted like that, or you can go through and shade it in, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to go ahead and shade mine in. This is not going to look pretty because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. So I'm just going to kind of shade in the best that I can. Okay. And get that done. Okay. All right. I'll make this look a lot prettier later, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get all that shaded in, like I said before. Now, whatever you do not want to use colors where you cannot see the symbols. It's extremely important that you're able to see what the symbols look like because that's what you're going to be doing. Then at the top of here, I want you to write the letter P, capital P, okay? All right, so make sure, and you can see it nice and thick. So you're going to put the letter P, okay? Now I'm going to go to my middle section, or excuse me, not my middle section, my bottom section here. I'm going to highlight that. And like I said, you don't have to use my colors. You can use any color that you want. You just want to make sure that you have 4 colors. Okay. All right, now this one I'm going to write below it because I don't really have enough space up at the top there. So I'm just going to write this one below it, and I'm going to put an F. Okay. And I'm going to do a lowercase f, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so there's my F, right? F sublevel. Okay, and then the last one, I'm going to do my middle section, and I'm going to highlight my middle section. Okay, get all that good and highlight. Like I said, I'm going really sloppy because I'm trying to go super fast here. Okay, so now that's all colored in, and I am going to label that with a D for D sublevel. Okay. All right. So letter D right there. So now I have my sublevels labeled. I have S, P, D, F. Those are my 4 sublevels. Okay. Once again, probably might not mean anything to you right now, but it will soon. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and number my rows. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and number my rows. Now, there's going to be a reason for why I am numbering them in some weird order. Just bear with me, okay? So I'm going to start on the left-hand side here. This is going to look normal. So I've got number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you're going to number that normal, okay? Then I'm going to go to this middle section. I'm going to write a 3 here, a 4, a 5, and a 6, okay? I'm going to go to the bottom 2 rows, and I'm going to label them 4 and 5. I'm going to go over here to this side, and I'm going to say 2, 3, and I'm going to write inside here 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? All right? So that's how you're going to label your table. Now, I'm going to write some things at the bottom of my table. Once again, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense right now, but I promise you, once we get started and start doing these things, it will make a lot more sense to you. So I'm going to push my table up. Oh, wait, sorry. I forgot one thing. I forgot to label the columns. Columns are important. So in the S, I'm going to go 1 and I'm going to go 2 right there. Okay. Now I'm going to start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every time I hit a new color, I'm going to put a new column. I'm going to write this one a 6 right there. Okay. And then down here, I'm going to have to write these numbers a little smaller. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so go ahead and number those. Now I'm going to push my table up, and I'm just going to write some things at the bottom that I want you to have on there. And like I said, later on, they're going to make a lot more sense. I want you to write the letter N, and right by N, I want you to write row number. Okay? Then I want you to write the letter L. And the reason I'm doing a cursive L is because a lot of times you'll get 1 and L mixed up. So this way you'll know the difference. So for L, I'm going to draw an arrow here, and then I'm going to have you assign values to letters. Okay? So you're going to write S equals 0, P equals 1, D equals 2, and F equals 3. Okay? All right. Now, over here, I'm going to have you write the letter M. Okay? And M, I'm going to, once again, going to have letters, but then I'm going to have blanks, and underneath the blanks, I'm going to put numbers on the blanks. Okay? So I'm going to write S, I'm going to have a blank, and it's going to be 0. P, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, 0, 1. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blanks, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right, can y'all see that? And then the last over here, I'm going to write S equals up arrow, a positive 1/2, down arrow, negative 1/2. Okay? All right? And so we are going to talk more about that later. All right? So get your periodic table colored. Make sure you have everything on there. Okay? Once again, here's what it looks like down here. Get everything done, color that in, and like I said, the next video that you see, I'll be doing a lesson and I'll be explaining this table. Okay? All right. I'm going to unshare and then stop recording.